bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. Everything's computer.
Greetings, friends, and welcome back to the 3-Minute Horror Show. My name is Ben, your host, and I love horror movies. In fact, I watch the bad movies so that you don't have to. You're welcome. Today I'll be reviewing the movie Evolver from 1995. Now I know what you're thinking, but this movie doesn't have anything to do with Pokemon, so get that out of your head. Other things can evolve too, you know.
Pikachu!
What this movie is about, though, is an advanced robot that plays an augmented reality game with its users, slowly becoming more deadly over time. And this was long before things like augmented reality even existed.
Wow!
It was written and directed by a guy named Mark Rosman, who did some other 90s horror things like The House on Sorority Row, but seems to do mostly kids' TV stuff now. Evolver can be streamed here in Canada on Lionsgate Plus, I guess? The guy who played Q on Star Trek The Next Generation is a game programmer at some company called Cybertronics, such a 90s name, and he's in charge of a game named Evolver. It's a VR game that has taken the world by storm, and they're having a contest where the highest scoring player will receive a prototype home unit of Evolver. Ethan Embry is the best player around, and bonus points for him, he's local to Cybertronics. Q and his manager, and you'll recognize this guy as a bad guy boss in all sorts of movies, drop off the unit and film a quick promo video. Ethan Embry is a former child actor who's still working today. One of his first on-screen roles was alongside Ed O'Neill in the movie Dutch in 1991. This job came along 4 years later in 1995, and in the same year he scored a huge hit with Empire Records. His career hit overdrive after that, and he was a huge staple of teen movies in the late 90s and early 2000s. He can still be seen regularly today, and he's still working as hard as ever. He also played in a speed metal band called Southern Comfort Colonic when he was 13, and that sounds pretty cool. This remote Evolver unit is an autonomous robot that plays a simulated combat game with you in your own home, shooting Nerf balls at you while you shoot at it with laser guns. It's also voiced by William H. Macy from Shameless and Fargo.
Enemy 4, kill confirmed.
Every time you beat the unit at its own game, the robot goes up to the next level. As it levels up, it gets deadlier and deadlier. It starts by replacing the Nerf bullets with ball bearings. Eventually, it gains the ability to discharge a powerful electric charge and shoot knives and stuff. Embry plays against the robot with his sister, his best pal, and a girl who was almost as good at Evolver as he was, and they beat the robot a few times. So now we've seen this terrifying Evolver robot in action, rolling around the house, shooting Nerf bullets at kids, and getting deadlier and deadlier as it levels up.
Yikes!
That was back in 1995, and in 1995, this movie was considered a lesson in the dangers of technology being allowed to run rampant. Well, now it's 2025, and you can buy this little robot spider that runs around your house while you shoot at it with a laser tag gun on Amazon for 25 bucks. So what does that tell you? Did we learn our lesson?
Nope.
Evolver kills a bunch of people. First a bully at the school, next Ethan Embry's buddy that wants to sell the thing for big cash money.
Enemy 2, kill confirmed.
Then Q arrives on the scene after reviewing the sample performance data. Q was in the military, you see, and this Evolver was initially a military weapon that he created. Well, it must have hung on to the killer code because even Q, with all of his Q powers, can't stop it from killing the players, which it treats as enemy combatants. Evolver has an uncontrolled hatred of Player 1, since Embry keeps beating it, and it's going to get him if it's the last thing its robot brain does. Ethan Embry is riding a Vespa scooter around in this one, and as I'm watching it, I'm thinking to myself, Ethan Embry is probably one of the most Vespa scooter actors there's ever been. Next to Elijah Wood, I suppose. This was actually surprising how good it was. I had not heard of this movie, and it started off with that late 90s VR-style cheese that didn't look very promising. Luckily, it didn't stay that way long, and it ended up being quite well done and very compelling. I recommend this one. I rate Evolver 7 out of 10.
Oh my.
As always, a link to my Letterboxd appears in the video's description. Please leave me a like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does boost my engagement and helps my channel grow. Smell you later, nerds!
Primary opponent still functional. Game continues.